Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. My name is Kunal, and today we got something very special to do. See, I always think about things when playing guitar, when just washing the dishes. I think of things that are really interesting and really important when it comes to playing guitar. So all these things, I'm gonna write them down and I want to share them with you guys. So what I'm doing today is I'm introducing you to a new type of content that I want to make. I'm gonna create a new series called Guitar Fundamentals. But when I say Guitar Fundamentals, it doesn't mean that it's only the beginner stuff. It's not about choosing your first electric guitar. It's not going to be about playing your first chords. It's about guitar fundamentals. And for me personally, everything that I do, the pick that I choose, the guitar that I play, the interesting diminished scales, they're all guitar fundamentals for me personally. But the thing that you're probably going to enjoy from this type of content is the fact that I'm a self-taught musician. I've never had any formal education when it comes to music, and I think it will be interesting for you guys to see how I think of things and to see how I teach them. And that's going to also serve me as a player, because as soon as I teach something to someone else, or to the camera in this case, then I really mastered that thing that I'm doing. So guitar fundamentals, it's not going to be all about just beginner stuff. We're gonna touch on those things as well. So my idea here is, when I'm washing the dishes or when I'm flipping burgers at work, if I think of something, I want to write it down and I want to create a concept video for you to understand my methodology and my way of thinking. Methodology, that's a really hard word to say. I know it's a lot of information and it might be confusing for you to hear all this, but I'm also planning to release a video of what exactly guitar fundamentals will be, explaining everything. So I didn't want to waste time and create a video thinking everything through. So I'm just jumping into cold water and doing this for you guys. And after that, I will upload a video explaining everything about guitar fundamentals. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's talk about dynamics and touch. In fact, I've already done a couple of videos about this topic, but dynamics and touch are something that you evolve with every day. So every day you play the guitar, depending on your mood and depending on like the pick choice or the guitar that you're playing, it can make a huge difference when it comes to the tone you're getting out of the guitar when you're playing it. So what I personally do is, as soon as I grab to play the guitar, first couple of notes, first couple of minutes that I play, I usually just try to see what the dynamic range of the guitar is. For example, this GB10SEFM has a really big dynamic range, and paired with this BirdSong Merlin 5-watt amp, it's just incredible how much you can get out of the same tone just by changing where you pick and changing your dynamics on your right hand. I mean, just listen to this. I'm using a couple of condenser mics by Tweed. There's one right on the amp and there's one in the room. I'm just trying to capture some room sound as well. And just listen to how many possibilities you have when playing this kind of setup. So I also have this Line6 HX Stomp XL on the floor, and I'm using the poly sustain as an electroharmonics freeze, which is really cool. So I just play a note and then I hold it with the Line6 HX Stomp XL. But just listen how many possibilities do you have just by switching where you pick on the guitar and just like playing with the dynamic. So just listen to this. I didn't add any boost or any other type of effect while playing that, but the sounds that you get are completely different to each other, just depending on the way you pick or where you pick on the guitar. So that's why dynamics and touch are very important. But dynamics, it doesn't mean that it's only the right hand. It also means that you can control your dynamics with the left hand as well, because the more you press on the string, the more you're gonna get it out of tune, and the harder it is to just pivot the string and grab another string. So that's why when you see really elegant players that play fast lines clean. They barely seem to move the fingers, and that's exactly what we're aiming for. Now, how do we practice dynamics and touch? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's just listening. So as soon as you grab your guitar and you start playing, just listen to everything you play. I mean, music is the art of listening. And see what pops up, see what needs to get attenuated and brought down, and see what needs to shine through, what note choices need to shine through. So whenever you're doing anything like noodling on the guitar, just try to listen to all the nuances that you can, and just try something different. Try picking closer to the bridge, closer to the neck. Just try everything, because the opportunities are just endless when it comes to playing guitar. And I think that's one of the best and most unique features of playing guitar, is having that freedom of just developing your own voice just by listening to the way you're playing. The thing that would be very helpful for you to do is record yourself and see how you perform when it comes to dynamics and touch. Another tip that I can give you is to actually know your gear. And I don't mean know what type of material the guitar is made out of, or the nut, or the amp, all that kind of stuff. Just, again, the answer is listen. Listen to what the guitar has to offer and what it performs the best. Listen to your amp and see how it reacts when you turn it up to 2, turn it up to 5, and see where the sweet spot is. For example, for my needs and for the tone that I'm looking for, that BirdSong amp, the Merlin, which is a 5-watt Tweed amp, it's just perfect. I turn it up to 2, I just add some reverb from my HX Stomp XL, and I'm good to go, because that offers me everything I need. And the guitar is just subjective. I really like how this thing is performing at the moment. It just gives me a lot of inspiration to play some different things, and that's why I chose this for the video. Let me give you an example of how something would sound like without any dynamic range. So I'm gonna pick everything softly, and then I'm gonna pick everything like really hard with the same type of dynamic, and then I'm gonna mix all of those together and see how much musical the third part is. So I'm gonna use the HX Stomp again for that amazing freeze effect. Let's pick everything softly. It's cool and all, but it doesn't have a lot of energy to it. But if we add a lot of energy to every note we play, we're gonna end up with this. And that's something you definitely do not want. And I really don't like that sound. But if we combine everything, then we have this. See, I couldn't stop playing because I was focusing on the dynamics. And when you focus on those little things, notes are just gonna come out of it. I mean, I told you before, I'm not a formally educated musician. I just like to listen to music, and I like it when there's a lot of dynamic range. Even when it comes to singers, I don't like overly compressed music, and I don't like singers that are just way too loud all the time. And I get it, for some genres like metal, you would have to do that. In addition to that, let me touch upon 2 things that I think are detrimental when it comes to dynamics and touch. And you might be doing them right now. First one is playing with headphones. There's a lot of cool plugins, a lot of cheap audio interfaces and headphones, and we're living in a golden era for gear. These things have led us to play with headphones. It's cool. It's actually a really great skill to have to play with headphones, because if you're in a tracking situation, you're probably going to have to track with headphones. But if you've spent all of your time, all of your guitar playing time, playing with headphones, then when you jam with someone else or you're in a live situation, you're going to notice that you're going to pick everything very hardly, because you don't feel any air coming out of the amp when you're playing with headphones, because you just have it right here and that's about it. So you're just missing a lot on dynamics when you play with headphones. No matter how great the headphones are, or how great the plugin is, or the amp modeler, you just, if you have the means, if you can, like twice a week or something like that, set up an amp. It doesn't have to be very loud. This 5-watt amp that I'm referring to for the 5th time now, it's not loud at all. So if you can find something like that, just plug straight into an amp and see how that makes you feel, because it's a completely different world. And again, there's a lot of new players that are starting out. They're buying the Fender Mustang Micro or whatever that is. They just plug it in the headphones. They get a really nice sound, but when you stand in front of an amp, you're just going to be lost, because there's a lot more dynamics that can be offered from a real amp, whether that would be solid state or digital. If a speaker is moving, it's going to be a completely different feeling. The other detrimental part only applies to the people that have bands and playing in bands, and trust me, this has nothing to do with you in this case. Drummers can be very detrimental when it comes to messing up with your dynamics. Now what I mean by that is, if your drummer is one of those drummers that just hits everything with as much force as he can, then you're not going to be able to express yourself when playing guitar. So you see Chris Buck playing a really sweet solo, and you want to go to rehearsal and do exactly the same, and you tell the drummer to play that beat, and then he just blasts on the drums. You're not going to be able to get it. And you're going to be really frustrated. You're going to think that it's all your fault. You can't get that tone. You can't get that playing under your fingers. But you have no idea how much that messes you up with dynamics and touch. What I'm trying to say is, if you have a drummer that has no idea what dynamics are, he's taking you down with him. I'm not saying that every drummer does that. I'm not saying that all the drummers have no dynamics, but if you find a really good one that knows what he's doing, you're gonna have a really great time. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today's episode of Guitar Fundamentals. So if you like this type of content, please let me know in the comment section down below. Please let me know if you want me to change something, if I'm going too fast, if what I'm doing is too abstract and you can't follow through. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to make adjustments and come up with the best things that I can come up with. Now before we go, if you like what I'm doing here, if you want to support me, the best thing you can do is subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up on this video. That would mean the world to me, honestly. So with that out of the way, I'll catch you with the next video. These guitar fundamental videos are gonna be once or twice a week, hopefully. I can't promise you right now, but I'm gonna try I swear to God, I'm gonna try my best to publish as much as I can, because as I said in the beginning, I have a lot of things that I need to share with you guys and that I think are gonna be helpful for you. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you with the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.